Okay, I would like to do a quick product review slash comparison, comparing the GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition to the Sony, um, I don't know exactly what the model of this is, but it's the point of view action cam, the Sony point of view action cam. Um, I've been using for some time now the Hero 3 from GoPro, and right from the start it had all kinds of problems. In fact, I tried with the silver edition, which is the one down from the black. I had to bring the silver edition back about 5 times, and I finally said, "Bag it, give me the black edition instead." So they gave me the black edition. Um, I had to bring when I was bringing them back, the silver edition. It was because the things would just totally junk out and freeze, and you couldn't do anything with them, and you couldn't get them to start back up normal again. Um, Even with the black, what would happen to me, what happens to me a lot of times, is that the thing will freeze, and I have to take off. I'll take off the battery cover, and I'd have to go through one of these things, in the middle. When I want to start recording, I gotta do this first. I gotta take off the battery cover, take out the battery, take out the SD card, pop it out a little bit. Now hold the top button down and insert the battery, and then with the battery inserted, press the front button while you're still holding down the top, and then it says no SD, so then you put the SD in there, and now you can record. Um, so now you can put the assembly back and all of this and put it back in its housing and what have you, and you can record. And it can record for about, maybe about 20-25 minutes, and then it overheats, and then it turns itself off, and you gotta wait until it cools down, which is a considerable bit of time before you can use the unit again. So has been my experience with the GoPro Hero 3, and you even see if you look through some of my videos and stuff, especially if I'm trying to do a stretch routine on video, and it's a half-hour stretch routine, I might get through like 20 minutes of it before this camera overheats and fails. So a few weeks ago, I noticed in the store this little camera, this Sony point of view action cam, and it's basically Sony's answer to the GoPro Hero 3, right? It's their attempt to do something similar. So I decided, well, I'm going to pick up one of these and try this out, and so far I'm very glad that I did, because in terms of the quality of filming and all of that, to me it seems to have everything that the GoPro Hero 3 had, except what's funny about this camera is I don't have to do a bunch of tinkering and stuff to turn it on and off and get it functional, like I often have to do with the Hero 3. And I can, like this morning, I had it on for like a whole hour during my training, and I can record, whatever parts of my training, and it never overheated. Imagine that. A camera that you can use that's not going to overheat is easy. Yesterday I was outside with it. I spent some time in the sun filming. I could feel that this camera was getting hot, but and maybe if I really pushed it, I could have got it to overheat. But under the same conditions, I would have definitely overheated this one in just the time that I used it outside. I did a half-hour recording at one point outside, and this Sony just kept rolling. It was perfectly fine. Another thing that I like about it is that if you're recording for a half hour, it makes a half-hour MP4 in there. With the GoPro Hero 3, if you record for a half hour, it makes like a 17-minute, 30-second MP4, and then starts another file for the next part. And the reason I like that is because when I go into editing and stuff, and I try to sometimes I'll try to tighten the frame, then I gotta try to do it with the other part and match it exactly. It's a pain in the ass. So I'm very happy so far that I've bought this Sony. There are things about it that are not great. Like, for instance, the housing that it comes with. It's good housing for underwater. I used it underwater yesterday to try it out. But what's not good about it is that it's, this is what it comes with, is the waterproof case, and you don't get a door that is not waterproof. And so when you close this up, the sound becomes very bad. So you're not going to be shooting in the case all the time. What I've been doing when I want to have actual sound, like if I'm doing a talk into the recorder, what I've been doing is just using a rubber band, to keep the camera in the housing, and keeping the front cover off, because the microphones are up here on the camera, and so if you want to be heard and have the nice clear audio, you have to leave the cover off of the housing. So that's not really good, and because this is how you mount the camera on a tripod, is with the housing, right? So so in order to have it on the tripod, you need to have it in the housing. If you're going to have it in the housing and you want to be heard, you have to have the door open. So that's a problem, but that's a minor inconvenience compared to the kind of crap you have to go through to get a GoPro Hero 3 to work properly, in my experience. So that's my quick product review. If you want to get a point of view type camera, so far this is the one that I would recommend, is the Sony.